What looks best? Now I look like Fallout Boy.
I like my hair.
You're telling me, bro.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel.
皆さんこんにちは. This is Tina and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be talking about our story being an international couple. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then please go ahead and channel 登録しちゃってください. 皆さんこんにちは. This is Tina and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see today I have a special guest with me. It is Slim Shady. Welcome him, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about everything from how we met, our long distance relationship which lasted 4 years, and how to make that work, I guess, is generally what we're going to be talking about. I thought it'd be kind of interesting.
For dummies.
You just ruined. We think it's kind of an interesting story. I don't think it's the most average couple story, so we hope you guys find it interesting too. First, how we met. So rewind a back.
Rewind a back.
Rewind back about 5 years in 2015. We met in December at Disney World. If you guys know any Disney World trivia or Disney trivia, something opened up in Disney World in December of 2015. And it was the Star Wars launch bay, which no longer exists, right? I'm pretty sure we looked it up. And
based on Wikipedia. Launch
bay no longer exists, which is where we met. We both worked at Disney. I had been there for a little bit longer than you at that point. We met on the opening day of that new location. Essentially, we just both worked in the entertainment department of Disney World. We were friends for a while.
Do you want me to tell this part?
Yeah, you can tell it. I think you remember a little bit.
Well, wait, is it okay that I mentioned that you've been in a relationship?
If you don't mind.
We're probably hanging out for like, I don't know, a month or so. But I asked you out 3 times and she never said no. But she had just, how long had your relationship been? Your previous
Over 5 years.
Over 5 years. Yeah. So the second time I asked her out, she actually told me the reason why she wasn't looking for a relationship. Not only she was going to be leaving soon, but having just gotten out of a long relationship. So I respected that. Yeah, and it was like, that was part long distance as well. So I just wasn't ready to do it again, essentially. Yeah. But I don't give up. So. Yeah. It never gave up. So that's the next part, development of our relationship. We hung out, for like a month or so initially, and then we kind of drifted apart. I don't know. Just did our own thing. We saw each other at work. I mean, he was always a face that I liked seeing at work. Around March, April was when we really started hanging out more, and it was getting closer to me leaving, because I was leaving in June or July. Was the end of like my 1 year that I was working at Disney, because I only had a 1 year visa and that was it. I had to leave. Like, I didn't really have a choice to extend being there. Another thing too that makes it a little hard, before we started hanging out consistently, I still lived with my family, but it was like, what, probably 40 minutes away, 45 minutes away from work. Yeah. After doing, like a 12-hour shift, it made it a little hard to like, okay, let's hang out. Yeah. And then I'd have to drive home. And also at that point, it was just like, well, would I meet your family? Like, yeah, exactly. I had met his family, actually. I met briefly, mum and brother in the park before we were dating together. And the story goes that my mom already knew. When I finally told her that we were dating, she was like, oh yeah, well, I already knew that. She's like, the day I met her, I was like, oh yeah, they'll be together. But anyway, came June to when I was leaving, and we're basically at a point where we're just like, oh, we might as well try it. It's been going pretty well. We like each other quite a bit, but yeah, we decided to just try long distance. You don't know until you try it, honestly. So I went back to Australia and we started our long distance relationship. I was only in Australia for a couple of months, I think like 2 to 3 months, and I was like, stuff this, I'm gonna go to Japan. I had never lived or worked at Japan at that point, so I thought I might as well try it. And then in November of 2016, when I had been in Japan for I think like a few weeks, Logan decided to come visit me, and it was obviously a pretty big deal. We'd been seeing each other for like 6 months or so, but Logan had never left the country, right? I didn't know how to get a passport.
Yeah, he had to get
So
a
I didn't even know how
passport.
to-
Like, he literally got a passport to come visit me. So it was a pretty big deal.
I've never been on a plane for longer than even an hour, because I've never even been to the west coast of America.
And how long was the trip?
All total, almost 24 hours.
Yeah. After not seeing each other for
Yeah, I guess more
5
like 4 months. Yeah, something like that.
He came and visited me. Well, because I wasn't working yet. And you came for about 3 to 4 weeks, I believe. And we spent like 24/7 together because we had gotten an Airbnb and stayed together, and we realized that we're probably supposed to be together. Like, it was surprisingly easy. There was no problems. Even at the end of the trip, we were like, that was not enough time. So obviously it was already set that we were going to keep trying this thing. So the long distance relationship between Japan and America. I lived in Japan for, I think it ended up being a total of about 2 years. And Logan came and visited me in Japan 3 or 4 times. At least 3 times.
Quick sec. Let me just fact check real quick.
How?
4 times.
4 times. 4 times in total in about 2 years. I visited him once while I was in Japan over Christmas, but it was really hard for me to get time off work. If you've worked in Japan, you probably know it's a very hard working culture, and I think I got 10 days of paid leave in the 1.5 years I was there, which is like nothing. So I just visited Logan once during Christmas, and then Logan visited me 4 times. Although, like, but you love to come into Japan. I mean, who doesn't? But, you know.
Well, that was just the bonus.
We both worked at Disney still. I worked at Tokyo Disney after Disney World. So you guys, I do technically have a second channel where I used to upload vlogs. I haven't done it in a very long time now, but you can see some of the vlogs that we did while in Japan. A lot of it is Disney because that is where we both worked, where we both met, and I do love Disney. I'm not gonna lie, of course I love Disney, and so does yeah. That was essentially our relationship when I was in Japan. And then after about 2 years, I decided to move back to Australia for multiple different reasons. So now we're in a long distance relationship between Australia and America. While I was in Australia, I did visit Logan once for about a month, which was pretty long. Stayed with his family and everything. So again, like, I mean, we get along pretty well. I've met like all of Logan's family, and Logan's pretty much met all of my family.
Pretty much, yeah.
But they haven't met each other because they live in different countries, obviously.
Well,
it's pretty
funny thing, Murad, is that I met your grandparents in Japan who don't speak much English.
They don't speak English.
But they were the first of Tina's family that I met. And we had like a lunch together.
Yeah, and you met them multiple times before you met
They're super cool.
Yeah. I miss them so much. But yeah, Logan had met my grandparents multiple times before he was able to meet like my mum or my brother. So in February of 2019 was when I visited Logan because we spent our first Valentine's Day together, I believe. In May, I went back to Japan for the last time before COVID. And then came the grueling part of the long distance relationship. We did the longest ever period without seeing each other. We went 1 whole year. Without seeing each other, which sounds ridiculous now. Like, we both look back on it and think like, how did we manage it? Like, 1 whole year.
It's a long time.
Before that, it was usually 4 or 5 months in between times we saw each other. So we'd go like 4 or 5 months and then usually spent 3 to 4 weeks together. So the ratio was like, okay, of course it's not great. We wanted to see each other more, obviously, but it was not
feasible.
Yes. So we went 1 year, and the reason was because we're both not financially stable. I don't know if that's the right word.
I mean, kind of, though.
Every time we'd go to see each other, we'd spend money getting flights, spend money getting on accommodation, and it was usually for a while. So we'd work, save up money, spend that to go see each other, and then we'll back to zero again, essentially.
We just kept looking at it in terms of how soon we could see each other instead of originally taking that time to save up the money and then just be together.
Yeah, so that's essentially why we decided we're going to do the 1 year, not see each other, and we'll just save up money so Logan can kind of permanently come to Australia. We decided that was better because it's a lot easier to get a visa to come to Australia than vice versa, like me going to America.
10 minutes.
Yeah, it took... He applied and got it in 10 minutes. So, and I think like living situation wise and stuff, it was easier for it to be in Australia. After I was here for a while, I decided to move out because I didn't have my own bed. Yeah, so that's another thing. For like a year.
Yeah,
For a year after I came back from Japan, I lived with my mum and brother, although they had moved to a 2-bedroom while I was in Japan. So I did have a bedroom.
Slept on the couch.
I slept on the couch and I shared a bed with my mum, which I love my mama, so it was fine. But yeah, I did that for like a whole year. So it was pretty tough. It kind of went by without me realizing, but to think that I didn't have my own room or bed or privacy for a year is pretty like insane. So I decided to move out. And then once I moved out, I was like, Logan, you have 6 months to get your ass over here. And he did. And just slipped in too because you made it.
Came on the 13th, 18th?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. They shut the borders.
They closed the borders because of COVID. So he came literally at the like start peak of COVID. And it's crazy to think that like more than a year has passed since then. And we're currently in the 4th lockdown in Melbourne, just a FYI. So it's been quite a year. So we did 4 years of a long distance relationship. Logan's been here for over a year now. So we have celebrated our 5-year anniversary last month, and in our 4th COVID lockdown in Melbourne, and we are as happy as ever. Obviously lockdown's like not the best, and it sucks that COVID's still around because Logan has been unable to visit home, go back to see his family, and I haven't been able to see my family and friends in Japan as well, so that absolutely sucks obviously. But it is nice that we have been able to be together for a year now, and obviously continuing to pass a year. We're in the process of Logan getting a partner visa so he can stay in Australia permanently. But yeah, that's essentially our relationship.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, obviously.
In a 20-minute nutshell.
Obviously there's lots more parts to it and this and that, but that's essentially our story of our relationship. I had like talked about this in the past in a live stream or something, but I thought we could share.
I think it was in the last lockdown.
Lockdown live stream. I thought we would share a couple, maybe tips. I don't know if they're tips. They're just like things that we have noticed being in
our take on it.
Our take on it, on how to make a long distance relationship work. Obviously it's not easy, like it's not easy at all. And a lot of people do say like, oh, I can't do it, it's not for me. But we do both kind of agree that if it's with the right person, you can do it. Anyone will be able to do it if it's with the right person.
Yeah, so I think the moment you have the mentality of long distance is not for me, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of one of those like self-fulfilling prophecies,
yeah,
I guess. It's
not like either of us ever chose to do this, like literally. Yeah. It's just that it's what you do to be able to be with the person you want to be with. So yeah. Again, it's not easy, but it can seem easy.
Well, and I will say from my own selfish side of it, I've never been in a relationship for longer than a few months.
Yeah.
Like that.
Crazy.
Now 5 years.
Yeah. 2 main things that we think, honestly, like any relationship, but especially long distance, is number 1, to trust. If you don't trust the other person, forget it.
Yeah, it's over.
There's no point. Especially with the time difference we had. We usually had somewhere between 13 to 15 hours time difference. So, you know, if we wanted to do anything, it was pretty easy. Like, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, that sounds really bad.
Not gonna lie.
You know, like if you don't trust the other person, like that's it. Like you can't get past that. And then the second point is communication. Since you can't physically see each other, communication's literally the only thing you have. That's all you can do is communicate. Any chance we got to talk, we did. Unless you make time for that, like you could easily not talk for days.
Yeah.
For us, I don't think we went a single day without talking. Unless we were traveling to go see the other person, because it was often like 24, 30 hours. So other than that, I can confidently say we didn't go a single day without talking to each other. And it always surprised me because I would have like people, my friends or co-workers ask me, they're like, oh, do you like talk every day? And I'm like, do you not talk to your partner every day?
But I think part of it too is like we never forced talking a long time. Like if there were days where straight up sometimes we would just tell each other like, I'm not really feeling it today in terms of being on the phone. And it was more of a like, hello, just checking in on you. Hope you have a good day. I need some rest.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. So, I forgot about that. That's true.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think that could be like in some instances people might be put off by that, but I think it's the only way to make that.
Yeah. I guess honesty is another thing. You just gotta
honesty,
be honest. Yeah. If you're having a bad day, if you're in a bad mood, don't put it on the other person and just let them know.
Yeah, because when you can't be there physically, I think
it's so hard to know.
The hard times are hard, and we've always talked about this, but like when really good things would happen,
That's
it was hard
hard.
to not be there to celebrate them.
And hug. Just even
Yeah,
like
just a
hug.
hug.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
it's hard. Yeah, like we literally talked all the time. Sometimes we don't even talk. We just stay connected.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. Is like
Yeah.
sometimes I know even when we were on video, it's like I might just have Tina sitting on my desk on the phone working on music and not really even saying anything to each other.
But we're just in the same
just being there.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'd watch TV and just have you on the phone and stuff.
Yeah. It sounds goofy, but
I mean, that's what we did. When I was working quickly on my lunch break, I'd give you like a 2-minute call to say goodnight because he'd be going to sleep while I was on lunch break. At the end of the day, as I was going to sleep, Logan was getting up for the day and we'll do like a good morning. Yeah, we couldn't talk for long most of the time. It was like a quick 5-10 minute phone call. And then on days off, we usually made an effort to do like a few hours or something. I know it's hard. I like barely remember it.
you do have to just make the time.
Yeah.
It's easy for me. I don't go anywhere. I don't do
I
anything.
mean,
so.
kind of me too. Because I remember, like, if people would ask me to do something and I'd be like, oh, well, it's Logan's birthday or it's our anniversary and, like, I know I can't see him, but I just want to be on the phone for a couple hours.
And you would get people sometimes, like, when you say something like that, it's like, well, you guys are just on the phone. Like, you can just do that anytime. And it's like, but...
Yes, but no.
If you make that effort, I think is what counts.
Freaking 15-hour time difference is hard.
It is hard.
It's so hard.
I think the only other thing we could talk about too is just that I think my advice to somebody is, as far as being able to have that long distance relationship, is making sure you guys have the same mindset and having a similar lifestyle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, if I was like out partying all the time and all this stuff while you're just like working hard and that, like, imagine how much harder it would have been to communicate. Yeah. But instead it's like, are you crying?
I have a little bit of snot coming down. I don't know why. I'm not crying though.
But I do think that's it.
Why am I so snotty?
Is we always knew, like I always knew Tina was either at work, working on her YouTube channel, with her family. So you don't ever worry about that stuff. And it's like me, I was either home working on music or at work. Same thing. Yeah. I mean, we always knew what the other person was doing. Not in a, like, interrogation way. It wasn't like, where are you now? What are you doing? Or who are you with? Almost just telling each other our schedule. It's just like, hey, I'm doing this today, blah, blah, blah. And then, as you said, like... You got like a little...
Is it just dry?
A little spot.
Dry. So if, like, something did happen, even though we can't be there, we know what was happening that day or what we were intending to do. And I'd say we definitely knew each other, like, each other's every day pretty well for being halfway across the world. We never thought of it as a chore or like trying to prove to the other person, I guess. It was just natural. Like we just want to tell each other everything. So yeah, that's our story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Gave you a little bit of an insight into us. I don't know if we've really talked in depth of our story or anything.
Not really.
Not really. Which I think, like, some people might question how we came about. So
I think there's bits and pieces in some of your videos and in my music.
If you guys do have any other videos that you would like us to do together, please let us know in a comment.
Any questions too, I guess?
I was actually thinking about doing a Q&A soon. Just like any Q&A. So if you have any questions, whether it's skincare, not skincare, to do with us, to do with me, to do with Logan, any questions, please leave it in a comment and I'll probably do a Q&A video.
That'd be cool.
I've been wanting to do it. I don't think I've ever done a Q&A like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Do you want to do it? Good. And then you go up to. Boom.